Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to uh, Thursday with George Wallace. And
Hello, everyone. God bless you. God bless you all. I be thinking.
oh, that is the next best thing to George Wallace on a Thursday. That's Myra J. is with us today in George Wallace's seat. And that's a big seat to fill there, young
Oh,
lady.
yeah. Yes, it
And
is.
our very special guest is the great Karen Hunter. She is an incredible radio show host. She is a journalist. She is an author. She is a publisher. Karen, what else? What else can we say about you that we don't know? And she is the queen of New Jersey. She is the pride of New Jersey.
No, I think Queen Latifah got that in Whitney. People from Jersey. I cannot claim that. I think I'm a decent friend and
nice.
a really great bid whist and spades player.
All right. Okay. Well, I feel a challenge coming on because I have the great Myra J, who is the spades and bid whist player, and our executive producer Yolanda Starks White, who is a self-proclaimed great bid and spades player. So, and I just sit there and listen to the trash talking.
Let me ask you, Myra, does a no take out a high or a low? How do you play?
No takes out everything. Yes.
Okay, all right. Then we can roll then, because there's some whack players that they don't understand the way this is supposed to be done.
And Karen, is this the kind of conversation you have on your XM radio show?
No, we talk about Bill Cosby and no, we have a different conversation. The radio is it's a place where, when I first got on Sirius XM in 2014, I said I wanted to do radio differently this time. I was off the air for 10 years. I think I was blacklisted or whitelisted. And so I said, I'm going to come in and just build an audience. Let me turn this down. Sorry. Let me, and I said, let me build an audience feeding people. So that became, kind of the edict that I live by. And so if you feed people, then every day they'll show up and be a part of what you're doing.
Yeah. And that's powerful as a woman who runs the network there at Sirius XM. That's really good to hear that's your credo.
Yeah, I mean, and even when you say that, running, because, folks get caught up in, power, this is community, right? So you want everyone to invest in this thing, everybody that's on the air, all of the engineers. So it's one big collective. It's not just about the people in front of the mic or behind the mic. We have some amazing producers and folk that make the shows run smoothly. And, and without that audience, they're the other component, right? So talking into the ether, but they're folk that are invested in what we're doing, and they participate and they make it better. And they challenge all of us every day to get up to be better. So running that channel is really not even, like something I even think about. So when you even it's like, ew.
Was that ever something you wanted to, was that ever in your head?
No, I mean, I'm a control freak. So
so maybe.
no, but from this standpoint, so I'm on the air and everything that's around me affects what I do, right? So the people that come before me, the people that come after me, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, these people pay for radio,
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for radio today. You don't have to pay for it. So that they're paying for radio. I'm like, this is the only Black channel. Oh, we need different voices. We're not monolithic. It can't be the same thing every hour, rinse and repeat. We tune into, cable news. It's the same folk talking the same thing every hour with the same type of sound bites. You may get somebody that's going to take you on a journey like a Rachel Maddow, but for the most part, it's like two people fighting, 3-minute sound bites, repeat, and it's the same people. And I'm like, I'm not going to pay for that.
Right.
So let's get different voices in. Let's see. And for me, it wasn't even like, let me hook up all of my friends. I'm combing the internet and Twitter looking for interesting people that I bring onto my show, and then some of them end up becoming hosts. Because of the commitment to this. So, even that wasn't even, because, cronyism and nepotism is really big in our business.
Sure.
And for Black people, it's important. I just had a conversation with Tiffany Haddish, and she said, I watched the white boys do it, and they brought all their friends along. So they ready? She's like, I'm going to make sure all of them get producers credits because, and it's really genius the way she said it. She said, because everybody that I put on, one day they may be bigger than me, and then they'll put me on.
Yeah.
And the universe is bigger and bigger. And if we all thought that way, nobody would be without a job. So that's kind of, the mind frame too. One of these hosts is going to be like out of here.
Right.
And I'm going to be, can you give me a job?
Right. That is reminiscent. I used to tell interns this all the time. It's like, well, why are you so nice? Because characteristically, people in the business are not as nice to the interns as they could be or should be. And I said, a long time ago, I saw a sign in a bar that said, be careful whose toes you step on today, because they may be attached to the ass you kiss tomorrow. And that just always, that always just came home to me, and remembering how you are to people. And as my mother used to say, it doesn't hurt to be nice.
Yeah. People are people. People are people.
Yeah.
Well, your title doesn't define who you are.
Right.
Not at all.
Right.
Your actions do.
What's your title though, Myra?
My
besides being chief bid whiz genius.
Let's see. I've been called comedian, writer, radio sidekick, but the bestest grandma in the whole damn world.
Okay.
And just I like to refer to myself as really, really, really cool people.
And you know what? That's the best title of all, because and the most apropos, because you really are just really cool people. And I will tell you, Karen, that I've known Myra is before we started the Joyner Show, and that was in '90 when we started, when we first met. Myra, it's coming up on our anniversary. It's July of '93 that we met. And then we all got together to talk about the Joyner Show. We started in January of '94. And to a minute, Karen, I promise you, Myra J has always been really cool people.
Oh, yeah,
really,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. I'm a no drama mama.
We need that. So did you guys travel with Tom Joyner? Because he used to go from coast to coast every single day. Morning show, like, were you on the plane?
No, that was before. Well, for me, I worked with Tom in the afternoons when he was in Chicago. So he would be in Dallas in the morning and then fly to Chicago for the afternoon show. Myra has worked with Tom even longer than that.
But I was his writer when he was the fly jock, when he was flying from Dallas to Chicago and then back. I was the one writing jokes and little tidbits for the news stories of the day.
And that was before we had like such, the ability to be able to do Zooms.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Satellite was, when the whole satellite thing started, that's when Tom got the syndicated show. And so that enabled us to be able to be broadcast on the hundreds of radio stations that we were on for the Tom Joyner Morning Show.
What void is that has he left? Because those shoes have not been filled.
No, they have not.
And radio has changed, but the way he did radio with the level of humanity, the concern of the people, that should never change. What's missing now that there's not a Tom Joyner on the air?
Myra, I can't say that for you, but I would say for me, what Tom has taught us and what we try to do with our newsletter and with this show is to super serve the African-American community in a way, incorporating so many different elements in terms of news and entertainment and all things that are lifestyle related for our health and historically Black colleges and all of those things. He had a tremendous ability to grasp all of this and to pack it into a 4-hour show and have people feel fed at the end of that morning. That, I think people have tried, but are definitely in the radio side that we're still trying to complete in our own various ways today.
Yes, not only the information, but what Tom did, he also brought on people that offered solutions, period. Like, this is what we're going to do next. Remember when Living Single had been canceled, that they brought it on and started a movement and signatures and literally put that show on for one more season. You know, it was other major companies didn't want black dollars. Oh, really?
Right.
But let's talk about that on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. Next thing you know, oh, well, look who all of a sudden found some black advertising dollars. Okay. So yeah, that.
I will tell you, Karen, the thing that we try to do here is, and as I said in our newsletter and here on the streaming show, is to inform and empower. And that is something that Tom really instilled in us on the air and made the people feel as though they were informed and empowered because of the success of things like keeping Living Single on the air, or taking a major technology company to task for not looking at the dollars of the African American. The way Mr. Johnson, John H. Johnson taught him, he brought that along to us as well. You know, so it's a lot. It is really a lot. But when Tom retired and a lot of us weren't done, that's what we had, you know, felt as though we were charged to do. And I can't, you know, I'm too old and too black maybe to do it on radio these days, terrestrial radio, but it is.
No, I'm not even receiving any of that, Sybil Wilkes. Sorry, not receiving. Well, thing on? No, I can't hear you. And here's why. Because, you know, I've been saying this on the air. First of all, not enough of us pass the baton. Not enough of us groom people to be able to receive the baton. But more importantly, not enough of us know our true power. And, you know, if we are constantly, you know, judging ourselves through the lens of white people or through others, and shape-shifting ourselves to fit what we think other people want, as opposed to just delivering every day what we come into the earth with this goodness, we're always going to be not good enough, right? Yeah. So you're not too old or too anything. You are absolutely perfect to do the thing that you're doing. And terrestrial radio is, I don't want to say it's dead.
Well, say it, because Tom told us that years before.
Terrestrial radio is dead. Media is dead. I'm sitting here. I go to the Church of Kwame Brown just about every day.
Come on now.
I watched this young man do something that has, to me, shifted the whole entire sports business.
Right.
Because when I'm watching him, I'm like, no longer do athletes need sports journalists to talk to.
Right.
That was the whole business, right? You could only hear from, you know, Deion Sanders. If somebody could, it's one of the first people I interviewed when I was at the Daily News, in the locker room, and he's playing for the Yankees with all of these chains on. They don't need sports journalists anymore, because these athletes, whether it's Naomi Osaka or Katie's gonna gather you up on Instagram or say nothing about her, they are directly talking to the people who impact their money. And Naomi Osaka can literally say, "I'm not gonna show up to an event. I'm the highest paid female athlete of the year.
Right.
I don't need the money or the attention, and I'm going to tell my own story, because you're not going to force me to sit in something that makes me feel not good about myself."
That's right.
And that type of agency, and we're watching it with LeBron and how he groomed, you know, folk to go now become agents, and it's a new game.
You're right.
And corporate media, corporate America is going to have to, well, they're going to figure it out eventually, but we shouldn't help them.
No, and you're right. They have to figure it out. But along the way, you're right. Informing and empowering ourselves is really what is key to all of this, and to us taking it to the next level. And I think that you are just the greatest example of that. You know, and you're talking about the New York Daily News and just watching your career rise, and you know, from writing in the newspaper as well, and then the radio shows and things that you did, and publishing. And Karen, you just have a great story. I often wonder for people, because I love books and I love to hear people's stories. What would you call your story? What would be the title of your book?
Unfinished. It's not done yet.
Right.
Yeah, no, I haven't even begun. You know, like every day I get up and, you know, I was having a conversation. I'm doing this thing called Narrative, which is my latest project, which is, every day I'm like, okay, because there's a challenge. You know, you sit and you go, what's missing? Like I talk about what's missing because of Tom Joyner not being here. And I'm like, we are so poorly informed. We don't know who we are, which makes it impossible for us to become who we're going to be.
Ooh.
So how do we build that back? And I'm like, okay, let's go all the way back and start putting the pieces down, the foundational pieces. Who's missing? And God brought me, and thank you, Ajua Asamo. This young lady brought this man to my studio, Dr. Greg Carr, and we hit it off. And during the pandemic, we just started chatting like every week. And I was like, can I record this? I need to know what we talk. This is important. And now he's emerged into something that I couldn't even imagine. But it feels like my life's work, and I don't need any credit for it. I just want to sit back and watch this thing build. And I'm calling it like the Pyramid of Giza. It may take me 20 years to do all of the things that it needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's done, I will feel like then I could write my story, because, all those other things are superficial and they're white facing. My daily career, I'm not going to discount the Pulitzer and the Polk and all these other things.
Right.
But in many ways, even in publishing, it was doing somebody else's, through somebody else's lens. Like I got to publish some incredible books and I'm proud of them. And I have bestsellers as a writer. But even that is like somebody else is dictating what the story is. I was able to put pieces that needed to be in there. But the reason why you're going to give a publishing deal to somebody who's 20 something years old is not because they have, something to impart. They don't have any wisdom. It's an audience, right?
Right.
And everything's driven by, audience and algorithms and clicks, not on value and purpose and edifying folk. And that paradigm has to be shifted. So, it's an unfinished story, but I feel like it's getting close.
Really? Yeah. I just think that you are such an inspiration for so many of us. And I thank you for your words and for, lifting us up as you do.
I feel fired up, and I just met you like 16 minutes ago. I feel damn good.
And that's what we try to do with the What You Need to Know newsletter. And as you say, our story is so different. And we just want to keep telling the different stories and putting the different shades and flavors to all of this stuff every day. And it is a challenge. It is a challenge, I got to tell you. But I'm enjoying the ride right now and doing something on my own. I have a great group of women around me. We're a fully Black woman-powered show and newsletter. But it's a challenge. But
you have to do it. You have to do it. Otherwise, we'll be distilled to 3 tropes, and Black people, man, we are so different and vast. And we have so many complexities. Like even this discussion around Bill Cosby is giving me a headache, but the way corporate media is having it is so black and white. And it's not. There's so many shades to this. There's so many nuances. And so many other things that we have to excavate in our own spirit and character in our community. And that's work we need to do.
Yeah.
So we have to do it. And you have to do it. And Myra, you have to do your thing. And we all have to do our unique thing to build the tapestry of who we are. Otherwise, they're going to have 4, prototypes of Blackness. And then you got to have to fit into it to get money, to make a living.
Yeah.
We've been doing that for the last 50 plus years, probably more. I think about Mammy and what the first woman to win an Oscar had to go through.
Right.
And dignity, couldn't even sit in the arena to get her Oscar. And, Clark Gable had to, carve out some space in the back for her, just for her to, because she wasn't allowed to be in there. But Hattie McDaniel was a powerhouse of a woman.
He really was.
Or slave, but forever. That image, and then you even think about Monique's character that she won an Oscar for. Halle Berry's character that she won an Oscar for. There's always these kind of prototypes of who we are. Baby slaves, mammies, Jezebels, and we are so much more than that. So we owe to 100 years from now for them to see full range of Blackness. And
absolutely. Absolutely. I highly agree. If I had a drink here, I would cheer to you right now. So
this is water.
So Karen Hunter, let me ask you. I know you talked about Bill Cosby for the last couple of days now, but from the Felicia Rashad angle, and the way that people have gone after her and how she had to respond, and in terms of the kids at Howard, the students at Howard calling for her to have the dean position rescinded, that offer rescinded. What are your thoughts on that?
Number one, at 73, with the vast brain that she has, it was an unnecessary tweet.
Mm-hmm. She needed a friend, somebody to stop her before she hit send.
Because we're in a climate where folk don't, social media, there are no inflections. You can't see what a person meant. On the face, what she said is true. Bill Cosby, the deal that he struck to not be ever prosecuted was reneged upon by the next prosecutor. Mm-hmm. Technically, he should never have gone to court. Mm-hmm. Now, is he a rapist? I'm going to say it. Yes, he drugged somebody and had sex with them while they were unconscious, which by definition is rape.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Two things can be true. So it was a miscarriage of justice that he was convicted. At the same time, Felicia Rashad got to test the room. You got to take the temperature. We're in an era right now where it's not even cancel culture. It's hypersensitivity mixed with misinformation, mixed with, headline reading, no depth, mixed with, a whole lot of immaturity, which is driving social media. Yeah. You can't come in and tweet that. And I know you ride with him.
Yeah.
Dude, and I get that. But it wasn't, all things are beneficial, all things are permissible, all things are not beneficial. It was something that she didn't have to do. And now, now the consequences, even Howard's like, but I don't think she should lose her deanship over it, for being loyal, and at the same time, there are a whole lot of hurt people out there who, I think it's, I forgot the statistic, but it was like 2 out of 5 girls have been molested, and you think about
it's higher for Black women.
Yes. And you think about the ones that are missing, you think about all instances of why didn't they talk? Why did they wait 30 years? And my refrain is, if you've ever been molested or raped, come talk to me about why people don't talk about it, especially when most people don't believe. And when you do prosecute, like the swimmer at Stanford, folks go home. And this is that society. You got people getting raped on buses in India. You have children being raped in China. You have things going on across the globe and in America that are unthinkable, right? Being gone missing in Africa, right? Like bring home my girl.
Yeah.
You think they're being sexually trafficked? So, like, at the end of the day, I think we have a blind spot, or it's desensitized because all of the sex is in our faces, and we got WAPs and busting it open on every TikTok. Just because you got a WAP and you bust it open doesn't mean you want to be raped. And I think that, at some point, culturally, we're going to have to come to a reckoning with that, because we can't send these mixed messages and expect a different result. That's insanity.
Yeah, that is the definition of insanity. Yeah, absolutely.
You're absolutely right. And I've mentioned this on the show before, being fully transparent. Yes, I am a survivor of sexually abused as a child for years and years and years. But to me, particularly for Black people, we have to stop this. We don't talk about that. Damn, Skippy, we need to talk about it. Talk to your sisters, not only sisters, talk to your uncles and your brothers and your dad and your sons. We need to talk about this in our community, because, like you said, many times it's not being dealt with because we don't mention that. But just because you don't talk about it, it don't mean it ain't a big pile of shit sitting in the middle of the room. Just because you don't talk about it.
And how many Thanksgivings and Christmases and scouts and family reunions are spent with the molesters?
That's right, sitting at the table.
So, I mean, that dysfunction we're used to, but it shouldn't cloud our judgment in terms of what's right and wrong. Like, so.
And so many people, well, to me, just like you said, get the facts right. He didn't do that. How come all them women can, it just like I said yesterday, I cannot tell you the amount of people who came up to me and said, well, half of them women lying. I said, well, for the sake of argument, let's say they are. What about the other half, though, who are telling the truth? What's your cutoff for when we need to report the number of people that could be raped before you talk about it? Because he up to like 25, 30, allegedly. So what's the number there we need to talk about?
Well, I think the 30 would be those that may not be lying and coming forward, because we're talking 60 women at one point that we were talking about.
And those are only the people who have come forward.
Right. Right.
Okay.
And for the record, Myra, I'm sorry that was your experience, and again, what we do to our children and our women is what defines a society, and that's age old, right?
Yeah,
and what
yeah.
we allow to happen to children and women. And I just look at where we are right now, and I don't know how it's sustainable. I don't know how we go forward as a society, not just Black people,
Right.
society, with all of this pain that folk are walking around with, but the response and the reaction, even that, I don't, it's like we need a group counseling session,
Yeah.
a Yana to come in and fix our lives.
Okay. And she's retired from that. she had enough. Let me ask you something, because, and this is our trending video of the day, and it relates to what you were saying about Felicia Rashad and riding with Mr. Cosby and all of that, and how you respond to people as they come at you. Tabitha Brown.
Oh, please. That was a conversation today.
Come on.
Tabitha Brown. Bring it.
So Tabitha Brown came back and responded to Wendy Williams today, because last week Tabitha put up a post talking about how she was now able to retire her husband from the Los Angeles Police Department, because they had made an agreement, as they were moving forward in their 20-something years of marriage, that, we're going to work for this. And he was taking a job with the police department, and while she was working her career, and she said, and all those no's and the doors being slammed, and he was there for her. And so now she was at a point in her career, she could retire him. Well, Wendy Williams today came back and said, I've been there. No. This marriage is never going to work. Talking about Tabitha and her husband, Chance. So Tabitha, not hearing what Wendy had said, was told by friends, and this is Tabitha's response.
First of all, Wendy Williams, honey, God bless you. God bless you. Okay. And so people sent me a little clip, and I said, oh my God, the pain this woman must be in. Wendy, the pain you must be in to feel this way, and I'm so sorry. But listen, let me tell you this. 23 years I've been with my husband. Yes. Broke for a very long time together. Struggled for a very long time together. Succeeded for the last couple of years together, right? My husband took a job in agreement with me. He took a job 15 years ago to help support my dream. And I know you may not know what that looks like in a genuine place, right? But this was an agreement that my husband and I had. And I told him 15 years ago, oh, babe, in 5 years, I'll be able to take you out of there so then you can pursue one of your dreams that you love. Right now, I was his dog in the fight, okay? And he believed in me. And we did it together for the last 15 years. I did every year with him at LAPD, and he did every year with me with rejection and no's in this entertainment industry, right? However, God has blessed me. He has allowed me to manifest. I've been praying on this for a very long time, and it has now come to pass. That is the power of God. It's also the power of allowing God to be first in your marriage. Okay? And that is how it remains successful. We keep him first. He is first in our marriage. Not money, not business, not success, but God. He's first. Okay? So this is my prayer for you. I pray that love finds you, true love. I pray it finds you and it holds you tight. I pray that someone will love you enough to see you when you are not well, to see you when you need true support, to see you when you need compassion, to see you when you need.
Isn't that beautiful?
No, I've been talking about it. She was the topic on my show today.
Mm-hmm.
Those are goals, right? For all that kind of Black love, and the OWN channel has Black love, and I love watching those couples talk about those things because we don't get to see again the complexities of our relationships. And I've been watching a lot of people step in dog doodle recently for ratings. You want to have something to say. sometimes saying nothing is everything. I know that probably won't start a trend. Won't be trending. We're all caught up in trending. I was inspired by Annie Mae Boleyn. Annie Mae Boleyn from Darlington, South Carolina. She's 103 years old, 102. And she said the key to longevity, mind your business.
Okay.
Leave people's business alone. Wendy made a cardinal sin in jumping into that woman's relationship and not really listening, and then adding her own experience, which has been publicly dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Now, full disclosure, I've done 5 books with Wendy Williams. I've known her for a while, and this was not, but Tabitha Brown gave us a master class for how to handle people.
That's right.
I'm not the nicest. And I don't think I'm going to change that because it's my personality, but, but it's like the smile, and if I felt like she genuinely wants Wendy to find someone who could love her, right? Chance loves Tabitha, that prayer that she put on her out of the universe. And I pray that happens. But that's what love looks like. Tabitha Brown is the embodiment. And if we all just took a little portion of that every day into our lives and with how we treat people and how we dealt with people, this world would be so much better if we could have that kind of compassion. She had compassion for Wendy in that moment. At the same time, she bodied her. People were like, oh, she bodied her. But she did it in a way that was like instructive. It was sisterly. It was loving. And she's my hero.
Grown folk. Today, I said people have what I call keyboard courage, because they will get on social media, girl, and I clap back, and I call her, blah blah blah, and then she clap back. No. First of all, I'm not going to argue with anybody on social media. I don't give a dang, whatever. But just like you said, what she did that's some grown woman stuff. That's what grown women do. Tabitha is very confident in who she is. She's confident. She has confidence in her husband, her family, her marriage, her faith, and she exuded all that. And to say, I pray that someone sees you. I hope you find love. Girl, please. We all need to get a big glass of that with a twisted straw and drink that for dinner tonight.
We need to scoop it out for a lot of people, Myra, and myself included. I think that was just, that was the face of God for me. That was the voice, of God-like spirit that lifted me up. And so that brings us to the question, who is that person in your life that has you like that? The way Tabitha has her husband, but also the way she exemplified that love for Wendy. Do you all have people like that in your life who are there for you, your ride or die, whatever you want to call them, your life partner? Who's that person for you, Karen?
I have a lot of different people. I have someone on my show named Drew McCaskill who said, we all need to have CEOs. We need to have a board of directors for our lives. So I have different people for different things. If I'm going through something, emotionally, I have somebody I can call. Spiritually, I have, Bible study every week. I have a standing call on Monday with a sister who we go over different things that we want to accomplish in the week. And, business, I have a couple of people there. If I'm struggling with something health-wise, I got a few doctors on call that are also friends. And, I think you need to not fill your life, because you don't need a whole lot of people. And I think that's the other thing. I think a lot of us have a lot of noise, a lot of folk in our lives, and that aren't adding value. And I also believe we need to be courageous enough to prune, because you're pouring energy into something that's not growing is going to lessen your ability to grow. So I think we've had friends in our lives forever who aren't actually feeding. And not that all relationships need to be transactional, but if you're the only person giving and it's always a drain, and it's always you delivering advice and being that shoulder to cry on, and there's nothing coming back, that's a relationship that needs to be put over there. Might need to be pruned. I'm a good pruner. I prune, I go through. I don't suffer, I'm not emotionally tied to things that are toxic to me. So, and I think it's very healthy to get rid of things in your life that bring you trauma.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we're, just for your own emotional well-being. So I'm extremely blessed. But again, I believe we create the world that we want to live in.
Yeah.
So, I'm very intentional about the people in my life. I'm very intentional about, not testing, but, I don't, how do you say when you meet someone, you meet their representative?
Yeah.
You don't meet the representative with me. So
Right.
if you can handle all of this, and it's a lot, I mentioned sometimes a little salty, and you still rocking because you see the goodness in it, then we can be here for the duration.
Yeah. Myra, you feel the same way?
Very, very much so.
I
Very
thought
much
so.
I have a very small, and actually, it's a small cluster of women that I have been friends with. We have been friends we just talked about this, for over 50 years.
Wow.
50 years. I always say we were friends BC, and that means before children. That's how long we've known each other. And our circle is very, very small, very, very, very tight. And we are so different, but we have each other's back. And just like you said, this is the group of women, because I've toned down over the years. I'm the one who was out there, and they would reach out like, okay, sister girl, you come on back, you're out there. And I'm like, okay, fine. They right, shoot, they right.
Right.
And so that's very, very cool. And then I have a male friend, just a friend for almost 20 years, who is that, because you do need that balance. When I can say, well, the da-da-da-da, and he's like, no. And I'm like, oh, all right. But you need a balance.
Yeah.
I don't want yes people around me. Most of my close friend, Myra J is the persona and person that I present out here to the world. My friends don't give a damn about Myra J. Period. I mean, they're happy for her, but they care about Myra, and I care about them. Yeah.
That's a big difference, and I invite people who want to talk about that as well to participate in our texting. But I will tell you, like you, Karen, and like you, Myra, my mom did not suffer fools gladly, and so and that is, well, perhaps it is symbolized by the fact that she was married 4 times. And so my father was the last, and I got that from her. I was raised as an only child, and so I didn't have, a lot of friends and things. So, and my mother always taught me that to have good friends, you have to be a good friend. And so that was really ingrained in me when my mother went through cancer and upon her death, and how these people stayed in my life because of my mom. And so I have carried that, forward. I don't have any friends in the business, if you will, other than those that I've worked with, like Myra and Tom. And so, and I pretty much keep to myself. I mean, there's a lot of shit that goes on. People don't have any idea, what's happening. But I do have.
Sybil, you out in them streets doing things?
And let me just tell you, my name on the streets is not Sybil. All
right now.
Sasha Fierce thing going on. Love that.
Just saying. But Karen, what brought this to mind also was the fact that, you're out there doing stuff, and sometimes you got to tell people what you're doing. And the unfortunate situation. Well, let me tell you why. Let me just tell you why, and then I'll get you. When this building collapsed last week, I was like, oh my God, there could be people there who should not have been there. And somebody does not know that they're there. And so I was telling, this group of this text of girlfriends, I said, we'll dip out and leave for a weekend and because I'm grown and I can. But this really brought to mind that, there has to be somebody. And I do have that somebody in my life. My executive producer is my best friend and all of that. But it's really necessary that sometimes we just got to tell people, you know what I mean? And so, and in this world of stuff just happening crazy like that, that's, why you just need to give that one person. So that's where I
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I'm not as adventurous as you are, Sybil. I pretty much I was just telling somebody today. Yeah, the COVID, a lot of people were struggling during COVID because they like to be out. Not for me.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I didn't have a problem.
More things to do. Yeah, and I enjoy my own company, which I think some people have a hard time being still in their own space with themselves because they're not real comfortable with who they are.
Yeah.
Or whatever the reason. I don't know what the reason. I'm not going to judge it, but I've always been like you, Sybil. I was an only child for a long period of time, so I had to my parents were a little not wild, but they like to party and go out and hang out. So I spent a lot of time in my own headspace, and it allowed me to be okay with me for a while. And so but what you're saying is wild though, that there were people in that building that probably that would never happen to me. So
right. Okay. Yeah.
But also to Mara's point, having people in your life that challenge you, will check you. You gotta have somebody that is just gonna check you and you're like, okay, because some of us go too far.
Yeah. and that's why, like I said, Yolanda is that person for me. She will tell me my shit stinks. And so, and that is it, and then she brings up my dead mama. Saying, what would your mama think about that?
No, not the mama card. That's not fair.
Dead mama.
Yeah. That's a foul. That's a foul.
Right.
So Karen, like I told you, we have the What You Need to Know newsletter, and we put it out every Monday through Friday morning. It's in your email box. And so we encourage people, it's absolutely free, and we encourage people to go and to subscribe to it. And we would love to have you as one of our subscribers if you go to sybilwilkes.com, and you can, as I said, it will be in your email box first thing Monday through Friday morning. And we talk about things that, we've learned along the way in terms of super serving the African-American community, to informing and empowering people. And every day we talk about politics, we talk about health and wellness. We have talk to Dr. Anthony Fauci today. And we talked about coronavirus way before. A lot of people were doing it every day. We have a coronavirus segment that we've been doing for the last 18 months. And then we have fun. Sometimes we talk about, like I put this story in today for George Wallace, not knowing that he was going to punk out on us today, but there's a chicken shortage. And so, we talk about the chicken shortage and how Wingstop has made a flip in this. And so because there are people can't get wings the way they used to, or they're not at the price, they can't get 50 cents a wing anymore. And so now Wingstop has come up with Thigh Stop. They've moved to the chicken part of the body of their bodies, the thigh. And so now they got Thigh Stop, and the things that, people will do. And especially you might need this as you're getting close to the 4th of July weekend. Not like me, but if you were preparing food, then you might need to know, if you go to the store and there's no chicken out there. And one of the other stories we talk about, one of the other segments rather, is about business and Black business. And we've had a wonderful young woman talking about business from a younger perspective. And I think Corey, and who has she has been with us. Culture Banks is her name. And so we talked today about how Black investors can enter the agriculture game without becoming farmers, and especially investing in Black farmers in our country, which is so important because of the historic disparities between Black and white farmers, as well as farmers in the African continent. And those are places where we can start to invest. And so, that's the kind of thing that we do and we talk about. And we just had a really good time. It's a challenge. It's a challenge doing this every day and on a shoestring, but it is. But the business part of it, we've been very lucky to have Corey Hale with us for a while now, and so she has been a really important partner with us in all of this. And we talk about health and wellness. Are you really good on your health and wellness?
We do wellness Wednesday every Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah, we're real good. Like that thigh story we talk about. I don't eat meat, so That chicken.
Oh, you are real good. Okay.
Chicken shortage is not a problem for me. But you know, I was thinking about you not, you know, if you had all the money that you needed, all the money that you needed, what would you do differently?
I would still want to own something in radio. I love radio. I know terrestrial radio is dead. I still think that there is a viable audience, which is why I love listening to XM, Sirius XM, and to you guys, and to you know, one of my heroes is the Black Eagle, you know, and things like that. So, but I would still want to own something in radio. And to help young people, and young Black women especially, that's my passion.
Myra, if you had all the money,
all of it.
I don't want all the money.
All of it. I would be a world traveler. I would really like to experience other cultures, learn other languages, other people, to not only lift myself up, but to share that information with others. And then if I came back to the US with a little bit of money that I had left, I would donate to worthy causes.
Where do you want to go that you haven't been?
Yeah, is there any place you haven't been?
Yes, I haven't been to the Ivory Coast. I haven't been to Japan. I haven't been to Greece. And I haven't been to Abu Dhabi just because I saw Sex in the City and I want to wear them dresses and go through the sand and, you know, outrun a camel, do all that kind of stuff.
So Karen, let me ask you that question.
Yeah.
All the money. What would you do that you're not doing?
And I would do more of what I'm doing, and then I would open a boarding school for kids in foster care across the globe, not just here. Everywhere Black kids are discarded, I think they need to have places that honor and respect them and teach them and love them. And there's so many people out here talking about abortion, and there are kids that need homes now. And my dad, before he died, rest his soul, one of his, you know, he was a character. He was super wealthy, and then he thought he was going to die at 50. So then he started going to Atlantic City because he said, I'm going to do what I want to do because I'm not going to be here. And then 20 years later, but he ended up being an institutional social worker, and the stories he would come home with, and the children that he wasn't supposed to bring home that he did. And then so many people sign up because it's a check. You know, and those are our kids. Those are our babies that are in these places with people who don't really care about them, but they are helping to pay their mortgage in, you know, white neighborhoods. I'm gonna say it out loud.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
So let me give a shout out to my sister, Andrea Curley, who adopted 4 kids, brought 4 kids into her home after her 2 children were grown. And after the age of 50, brought them and is now raising 4 wonderful children and just doing an amazing job in that respect. We have somebody who is reaching out to us.
You said, George, the show is over. The show is over, George.
Yes, Karen does fit right in. And yes, Myra Day, thank you so much. Before we let you guys go, also in the newsletter, we have Yogi's Jewels, and that is our daily inspiration. And today is always Yolanda tries to put something in for George Wallace. And so Free Your Spirit is today's jewel and inspiration. Free your spirit and purposefully laugh. Don't forget to. Karen, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
I really enjoyed meeting you. I did.
Oh, you too. You guys are inspiration. Sybil, you are a legend, and right now. That's it. That's all. I appreciate being here.
Well, I hope you'll come back.
Oh, absolutely. Well, George, you know,
when George is here,
we have a special kind of relationship. So I'm you know, I have some things and words for him. I know that's right. I know we often have. Does he call you Florine too? No, what?
Oh, okay.
He calls, no, it's an inside. He calls me Florine. Don't ask me why or how, but yeah, he insists on calling me Florine.
We don't know.
So
We don't know. Myra, thank you so much, Karen. I hope you will come back. And Myra is on every Wednesday with us with Stephen Hill. And so we thank you all, everybody. George, we will see you next week. Have a great holiday, everyone. Yes.
Wait. If anybody has not had enough of me yet, I'm going to be on another podcast on Facebook called Everybody Mad Podcast in about 25 minutes. So just after this is over, go on the Said Lover Show. I think that's another.
All right. Okay. And one more message for you, Karen. J. Anthony Brown sends his best as he says he's your biggest fan.
No, he's not. I love him. I'm his biggest fan. And as living on BET, check him out on that. Because J. Anthony Brown and get hotter than a mofo.
You got it.
Because the nuts are real salty. They're really salty and they're good. With the beer.
Yes,
he has trained you well, Grasshopper. And Jay is here with us on Tuesdays. As a matter of fact, he will be he sponsors our trending video every day, hotter than a mofo. So thank you.
Anthony Brown's an amazing human being. He's one of the best people on this earth. And like Tabitha Brown, we need more J. Anthony Browns as well. The Brown people, Browns.
What is it about the Browns?
They are good.
Well, you're good, and we appreciate you, Karen. Thank you so much, and keep up the great work. And we will be listening to you on Urban Power, and that is
no, not Power. Urban View channel.
Urban View.
Where talk empowers and becomes action. It used to be the Power. It's 126 Urban View, where talk empowers and becomes action. Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Check it out and sign up for Narrative with a K like knowledge. The K's in front of narrative.com and get your life.
There.
We got it. 126 on Sirius XM. I'm right there. Thank you so much, darling. I really appreciate it.